Most hear the name Leonardo da Vinci and instantly picture a peaceful creator of masterpieces. We imagine a gentle artist sitting in a sunlit studio, quietly mixing paints and studying beauty. But his reality in the 15th century was far darker. He was a man who crept into graveyards at midnight to dig up rotting corpses, and spent his days sketching brutal machines designed to tear human bodies apart. This obsessive path began with a legal technicality. Born out of wedlock in 1452, Da Vinci was barred from receiving a formal university education or learning traditional Latin texts. Cut off from academic dogma, he developed a personal philosophy called saper vedere, knowing how to see. Instead of trusting the claims of ancient scholars, he relied strictly on his own direct observation of the natural world. In Verrocchio's workshop, his training in chemistry and metallurgy was as rigorous as his drawing. He learned to cast heavy metals and manipulate raw minerals for pigment, alongside fundamentals of geometry. This total exclusion from traditional schooling created a mind unchained from academic tradition. By the time he left the workshop, he saw the world through a single lens, where art was the visual expression of science. At age 30, he put that unified knowledge to work. Leaving Florence for Milan, he wrote a letter to the city's ruler, Ludovico Sforza. He didn't ask for a job as a painter. Instead, he pitched his services as a lead military engineer. He drafted blueprints for terrifying weapons. This drawing illustrates a covered, armored vehicle designed to safely transport troops into enemy fire. The conical turtle shell shape and internal propulsion system operate on the exact same mechanical principles as a modern-day military tank. Tasked with mapping the fortified city of Imola for warlord Cesare Borgia, he produced this map. Instead of sketching from a nearby hill, he physically measured streets and plotted angles. The mathematically precise grid looks identical to a modern satellite image. These projects confirmed his central theory. The trajectory of a cannonball, the layout of a city street, and the flow of a river are all dictated by the exact same mechanical laws. To accurately paint the human body, he realized he needed to understand the machinery operating beneath the skin. He began sneaking into hospital morgues to cut open human corpses. He approached dissection like an engineer dismantling a machine. This anatomical sketch maps the human skeleton as a series of structural levers, with the muscles rendered strictly as wires pulling those levers. This diagram shows his study of the human heart. To prove how valves close, he pumped water and grass seeds through a glass replica of arteries. The swirling vortex lines he documented matched the exact blood flow patterns finally confirmed by 20th century MRI machines. His obsession with mechanics extended to the human eye. After boiling cow eyes to study their internal structure, he discovered that the outer edges of the human retina are highly sensitive to soft shadows, while struggling to focus on hard, distinct lines. Applying this biological fact, he invented a painting technique called sfumato. By blurring the edges of a subject and applying dozens of translucent layers of oil paint, he mimicked exactly how the eye processes light. When you look directly at the lips of the Mona Lisa, the smile seems to fade, but it reappears when you glance away. It is a highly calculated optical illusion engineered from raw anatomical science. In his final years living in France, a stroke left his right hand partially paralyzed. Unable to paint, he spent his remaining time scaling his scientific theories upward, looking at the entire planet. He developed a theory comparing the Earth to a living body. He calculated that the branching networks of human blood vessels operate on the exact same mathematical principles as the flow of the Earth's river systems. When he observed fossilized seashells buried in high mountain peaks, he rejected the widely accepted story of a 40-day biblical flood. He argued that the shells could only get there if those mountains had once been the ocean floor, proving the Earth functions on a deep, ancient geological timeline. This diagram illustrates a phenomenon now called earthshine. He realized that the faint glow on the moon's dark side is actually the Earth bouncing sunlight back into space, functioning exactly like any other celestial body. When he died in 1519, his thousands of pages of mirror-written notes were scattered across Europe. Without his research, history forgot the engineer and spent the next 500 years remembering only the painter. In the background of the Mona Lisa, he placed the same mountains and rivers he studied in his geological surveys. linking the flow of the planet directly to the woman in the foreground. It is the visual record of a mind that refused to see a boundary between a human muscle and a mountain range, proving that for Da Vinci, the entire universe was one